the fact that they how many people do you think have died, like, at the hand of, like, just been the result of a CIA operation or just an operation that CIA was
More
involved
than we're well aware of. I mean,
in? Millions.
right. I mean,
Millions.
it depends on what you count as a CIA
There's
operation. The ones that we
millions.
know
I'm talking
about,
about
and then
leaders. I'm talking
the
about
ones we
leaders,
don't know
bodyguards,
about.
militants, civilians. Millions have probably died just whether in the wrong place at the wrong time. Fucking, they're just a bodyguard. Fucking, you're just trying to bring your country out of the ashes. Localize your currency, or if you have oil, uh, you have oil and you don't want to trade it to the United States. That's okay. We got something for you.
Right. I mean,
It's one thing when you're joking about it and it's a actual joke, but then you start to realize like it's not a joke. I just realized it's not a joke.
yeah. So you were always kind of on the fence about what
I
the
just didn't
things
know
are.
who. Didn't know who. Like I like in
We
the back of my mind, like maybe before I was like maybe there are like really some dark forces out here and some like the devil or something like that.
right.
But in reality, I mean it could still be that. But in
I
the
don't take
United
that off the
States,
table.
the United States at the very most, I mean, at the very highest, it gotta be the CIA. Like, imagine a group of 100 people. You say, all right, well, the CIA is doing this. We gotta tell everybody. We gotta get this shit out there. You got people like Candace Owens. Like, I remember having a conversation with my dad because she was on the news about something. And they were pretty much just bashing her, and my dad was saying she's fucking crazy, she this and that and the third. I'm listening to her fucking video. I'm like, this is a very sound individual. Like, she doesn't sound fucking retarded. She doesn't sound crazy or anything. And the stuff she's talking about topics that people like me have questions about. And when she's talking to people that are very educated about it, and they're talking about details and they're bringing up the facts, we're not pulling this shit out of our ass and saying, hey, we think, no, this is the facts. This is what this radar was giving us at this time. Here are the numbers. Here's the data type shit. So they're not just blowing smoke out of their ass. They're talking about legitimate topics and they're discussing the facts, putting them on the table, and then deciphering them as they see fit, as they want the viewer to do themselves. And some of that shit just makes a little too much sense, especially when they were talking with the CIA guy. I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like I already knew, but like if you look up MK Ultra, bro, it's literally just experimenting on people. The government said, you know what, we're gonna experiment on people, and that's happened so many times in fucking history. It's happened in Germany. It's happened in I think I don't want to say it wrong. I think Taiwan or somewhere in the fucking in the Middle East or some shit. It's happened in
There's
multiple
many
parts of the world.
countries,
But
especially if you have
I
wealth in the
didn't know we
military.
did it
Yeah.
in the United States. I didn't know that happened. I didn't know we did it as well.
You, it's funny because
I
a lot
didn't.
of people don't, and once you become aware of that, you're like, "Oh shit!" Because when
s-
I say
Dude,
MK Ultra, most people might faintly,
most people
but
hear MK Ultra and you're like, oh, you're a conspiracy. Like that's what it sounds like.
it's
But
an
like I looked it
actual
up.
thing.
I
You
looked it
can
up,
the
and it's like,
government's like, "Yeah, we did do this,"
and they literally tried to destroy all the evidence.
but the
You go
evidence
on Wikipedia,
the
you look
evidence
up
is there
anywhere where they
still.
talk about it, they tried to destroy it, but they weren't able to. So
No, because they
imagine all the
got
stuff they
sued
have
out the
destroyed,
ass.
bruh.
There was a lot of people that came forward and said,
And there were so many points in the video where they were talking about shit, and I was just paused it to look it up, and it was just even more mind boggling because this is just like this is facts. Like they're not just this isn't just bullshit. Like how many terrible things has the CIA actually been involved in?
right?
If I could say more than 5 in the last 100 years, my nigga, like, what the fuck?
For me, it's we took a turn with the CIA and about the could be early as the 40s, but like when things kind of got weird. But especially once we took out Kennedy, um, the the whole JFK assassination. Everything after that was like, you know, it's been one thing after another.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, when are people gonna wake up?
So it's
Like,
kind of funny. Like, let's think about this. We had World War II, right? We all
yeah.
kind of got together and were like, "Hey, let's not do this again." You know, can we not do this again? All right. We'll make some agreements here, some
All
treaties,
right, all right.
and then
United Nations,
everything after that, we have been in I don't know how many fucking wars, and they've all
60,
been pointless.
probably more than 60,
I think it's
more
like
than 60,
100
more than 60. I think.
worldwide.
Well, you know what? That speech was a long time ago, so it has to be probably like 150 wars at this point, bro.
Exactly. So my whole thinking is like, what the fuck are
What is the United Nations even
because
there
World
for?
War II actually, as bad as it was, it did kind of
That's
there was
what
a
caused
result.
them to create the
It
United
was
Nations.
there was a result there. Whereas I think all these other wars are it's
Look,
just
that's why they created the United Nations to stop that from happening. If anybody commits genocide, if somebody overthrows a government, assassinations, the United Nations signed an agreement, and it's in their papers and in their whatever that they're supposed to respond.
right because
They're
it's
supposed to. They
money,
have a
baby.
security council, right? They're supposed to, as the world, as a like this. This is what I was fucking talking about. Listen, dude, like this is what I was talking about the last time we talked. Like made a video. We were talking about this shit. Like I was talking about fucking like we should be one population or whatever. That was the general idea of the United Nations. But somehow,
Let me stop you right there. I think externally that was supposed to be the idea to the public, but at the core of it, there was something more
right,
malevolent there. That there it wasn't so much. It was this idea
right,
that we could all get together, but we're still gonna have war. We need war. We need money.
right,
This is
because
how we do
the
things.
the CIA and
Can
the
we do this
military
better?
industrial complex, like that's literally what we, bruh. This is what the dude Gaddafi was talking about. Because since the United Nations, we have still gone and pretty much overthrown governments. We've incited wars. We've invaded places where we created a reason to go there. Like this thing, I don't even fucking start talking about 9/11, bro. Let's not even get into that. But like I said, we created situations where we've quote unquote needed to invade or start a war. Doesn't matter if you're part of the United Nations and you're one of the highest permanent seated members that's against war. What you doing? Even then,
I did.
even then, if we're the highest member on the United Nations, that meant every other nation that had a seat was supposed to come to us and say, "Stop! You can't do this."
Here's what's
That
ironic.
never happened. That
Uh,
never happened anywhere.
think about this idea. We want world peace, right?
No, we
But
don't.
well, I know. But the idea that like we would rather not be. We go to war to stop
Nuclear
conflicts, but
annihilation.
yet what we'll do is we'll fucking nuke somebody, and you know, we're the first ones to sign up for war. Like we just make up wars just to go to war.
Right. All the money we make,
Like that's
we make a
why
lot of
we're
money.
even invested in Ukraine.
But bruh, Doug, hello. What are we even there for? Oh wait, we have sent billions of dollars to them. And dude, that's funny enough. They were talking about that, dude. They were talking about the guy that came in before Zelensky and how, like, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it made a lot of sense because, like, dude, I'm gonna screen share and fucking go back to that video because, like, where did this Zelensky guy come from? He was a comedian. The CIA guy was saying that he's definitely a plant. Like they planted him there so that he can do what the fuck they want him to do. And all Zelensky has done is war, 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 war.
I'm pretty sure if you play that video, I might get
And funny enough,
flagged.
weird enough, when you're thinking about that, you have like I don't even know if you want to call them the right, the left, the up, the down, whatever. You have this large group of people that you see on the news everywhere that just support Ukraine outright. It's like
They don't even know
Ukraine.
why. So
They don't even know
there's
why.
two places I can't pronounce them. So, but there's two major areas that are the focal points of this Ukraine war, and no one even knows who, like, what they're called or where they're at. All they
Brother,
know is help Ukraine.
this goes right back to what I was talking about earlier with like the news is paid and funded to fucking say
Why wouldn't the
to not
government
say certain
control that?
things
You know.
and say certain stuff. So then you have these people that are really, really mentally retarded that are just gonna go off whatever they see online or in the news and this, that, and the third, and now they support Ukraine outright, and they don't even really know why Ukraine is fighting Russia.
No, it just
Like,
seems right.
right? It just feels right to support people
I
in
mean,
need.
that's what I saw on the news. It sounds awful. That
Right?
Putin's an
Sounds
evil
terrible.
guy. He wants to nuke
Right?
everyone.
Right?
And I mean, just like you said, you had to like
Fucking
go
retarded.
and do research to like
People
make
are
more sense,
fucking
but they
retarded.
don't. They're
They
they don't
don't
have.
talk about this stuff on the news because why would they?
It doesn't
This
suit their
It's
interests. Yeah,
all fucking retarded. It was just blowing my mind last night. I was looking at my fucking TV, fucking jaw drop. I'm like, dude,
yeah. You see news in a totally different light once you
I don't
become.
even want to watch the news. I don't
You
watch the
don't.
news
I
already.
don't take in the news.
I don't listen to that shit, man. It's all
No,
just
but
propaganda.
if
It's
anything,
proven propaganda at this point.
I just do it to view it as like this is what they're feeding people. And then once you see it a certain way, you can. It's very hard to go back. You view
I don't
the
even.
media as for
Honestly,
what it is, and you're like,
you see
this
what
is.
that's doing to people. You see how that's driving people fucking retarded. I don't even want to absorb that shit. I don't even want to see it. Right. I'd much rather listen to these third party people on YouTube and Reddit and TikTok that aren't getting paid by anybody.
Well,
Any
what's
of these fucking
crazy is you're not
lobby
alone
people.
in that, and it's like that's becoming the new medium. You,
Right.
you know.
Because you can't trust the fucking news. They're not gonna report on the correct shit. They want you to be
Also,
distracted by
people
bullshit.
want to just listen to they can find their own niche a lot easier. Before it was 3 or 4 channels. Okay. Now you have millions of podcasts, so you can find a specific one that like fits specifically with your opinions on things. And
And that now that I think about it, imagine if Candace Owens is on TikTok. She might be, but if she is, TikTok isn't run by the United States. On top of that, it's not regulated by the United States, so they can talk about post whatever the fuck they want on there.
isn't it funny?
That's probably why they're trying to get shut down,
It's made from China,
and they profit off of that, and they
and
can profit widely
China
off.
doesn't even have the same TikTok that we have here. They have a different TikTok in China.
Shh.
So
That's the double-ended sword. Because now
and it's
people can
completely
talk about what
different
they
over
want
there.
on there.
And
People can
it's yeah.
talk about what they want on there without regulation. And if the if say the Chinese government wanted to spy on what we're talking about literally and just say, all right, well, the United States doesn't regulate this app, so they can talk about what they want. So we can also absorb that information.
Oh, of
So
course,
dude,
this was a genius plot by them. They're good at what they want to do.
that's probably why they're trying to get it shut down.
In some countries, it is, and I don't use it, and I get it's kind of sad to see what it's become. So I yeah, I honestly think that the whole idea that it's made by China and it's kind of making all of us a little dumber. Let's just
Bruh.
we would be a better society without
You
TikTok.
know, yeah, brother.
Okay.
You know what's funny as shit. Every fucking day when I call my girlfriend, one way or another, she asks me the same fucking question every day. Have you looked at my TikToks? Have you looked at my TikToks? I'm like, you're gonna turn into a fucking TikTok. Like
What are
you're
you, a clock?
right. What are you getting paid by
What
them or
are you, a
something?
fucking clock? TikTok, TikTok, TikTok.
Yeah, dude, I swear I've said that. I've said it all because she just doesn't get a fucking break. I never get a fucking break from hearing her talk about TikToks and shit because she's on it all day, every fucking day. And I don't know. I don't fuck with TikTok like that, bro. As soon as I start getting on TikTok, I just start scrolling and scrolling. And then I realize I'm scrolling and I stop, turn off the fucking app. It's like, yeah,
when
I'm
that
out of here.
when that became popular, I think I was also at a point where I used to be addicted to social media. It started from like when I was 10 with just Facebook.
Right.
And that was when Facebook was like really booming, basically when it came out like that. And I was like not even a teenager. Use that and fucking every day. So I started like growing into my teens with that, and it became something that was like hooked to you, attached to you. And then I got on Twitter, I got on Instagram, um, and became fully addicted to all those things. And it was like a fucking second reality, even though I was more linked into that than my own reality sometimes. And you were just seeing highlight reels after highlight reels of people living like these, what seemed like picture perfect moments, literally. It was all highlights of their life and the self comparison thing, and then all the negativity that came with it. It was just like a fucking overload. So I eventually just dropped all of them. And then TikTok comes around and I see what's going on. I'm like, okay, fuck. I remember Vine and I thought that was kind of cool for a while. And this is just like a worse ass version of it, but yet it's just booming because you get these people dancing the fucking songs. And I'm like, this is how bad our attention spans are getting?
Well,
We're thrilled by 6 seconds of some girl smiling and doing some weird ass fucking dance.
yeah, it's that's the thing. Like that's another video. I saw recently. I heard somebody say like things were so different. You know what I mean? Like 20 years ago, because you weren't constantly attached to the internet. Like before, you had the newspaper, you had the radio station, whatever. You had your TV. But other than that,
It,
you didn't really have
it,
a connection to everything that's happening
think about
everywhere
that.
and all this information everywhere, being on social media and everything. Like all this stuff affects us as
You
humans.
said like radio,
And it's
newspaper. We don't even have.
I
Uh,
said back in the day, like that was
I
like
know, but think about that change. It's just been the last 10, 20 years. They phased out newspapers. The radio's fucking
I
dead.
mean, you've been constantly connected to the internet, and the internet has become, you know, and that's another thing. The dude even said like the internet is regulated. Like certain stuff is hidden and you can't see. Like that's fucked. You like if I want to look
I
up something
watched
about
it
my president
happen.
and I can't find that shit because they don't want me to see it. The fuck do you mean you don't want me to see it?
So the
I'm a law abiding free citizen of the United States. If I want to look up something about some shit, look at who are you to hide it from me? Because what? Like come on,
they
shake.
they constantly are cleaning through, and Google is, since it's so used now. So let's say back in even the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when you looked up certain things, you were gonna find like you could find a lot of different shit. It just goes for all social media platforms or whatever, but especially now Google. Um, and hell, I'd say within the last 5 years, the internet's gotten much more. It's not this free and wild west now where anything can be found. Since it's so big, it's that much more regulated. They flush these results. They either push them down to the bottom of like, so you go through like 100 pages before you find the fucking thing that you want, or they just take it off of there.
It's
And
all
it didn't used to be like that. And the smaller the internet was, because it's fun, it's been around since late 80s and then the early 90s, and then by the 2000s everyone was starting to have like, you needed a computer type of shit, but they still wasn't used that much. And then when you put a computer in everyone's pocket and we become more reliant on this, um shit, now that's the ultimate way of control. I think that's also why they let you, like, they want people to have a cell phone just for tracking. Like in some places, if you cannot afford a cell phone, they will give you one just so they can track you.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
speaking of
Yeah.
phones, did you know about where they? I forget which country it is, but you can look into this. It's a place where they make the iPhones, and their hours and their regulations there are so brutal. The working conditions that people would be jumping out of windows there and committing suicide so frequently that they added nets to the building.
Damn.
So if you jumped out the window, you would be caught by a net. So
Yeah,
instead
not
of
bad.
fixing the actual problems there, or the pay, or whatever, they're like, God, how can we stop these people from fucking
How can we stop
dying?
them from killing
So
themselves?
they
That's
jump
just
into a
unbelievable.
net and then they come and collect them, and then they probably send them back upstairs. Like, all right, get back
Send them
on.
to the boss's room like, hey, this fucker tried to jump out of the window.
He's like, you're
Like, what's
working
your problem,
overtime,
bro?
no pay.
What's your problem, bro? You didn't like those 10 overtimes that we gave you with no extra pay?
You know what you could do to this company? I
You
can't
don't
have.
like you don't like working in our fucking sweatshop? What's wrong with you?
Well, isn't that crazy though that they have suicide nets?
Bro, anything is possible at this point.
No,
Nothing
seriously, your
nothing
iPhone is
can
made
survive
by
you.
someone that wants to jump out that window and can't. You know,
Dude, think about Tesla, bro, and the Congo, nigga. Like straight up slavery. There is still slavery going on in the United States today.
there's more slavery in the world today than there ever was.
Brother, I'm telling you,
Now, our
we like
definition of slavery might have swapped a little bit.
somebody's working for no pay and no choice against their will.
Well, they're getting paid. It's
And
like
that's like
22 cents, dude.
I mean if they have no other
No,
option. Well,
I
not no other
mean,
option, like if they don't want to. Like that's the thing. If somebody consents to work for you, that's cool. But if you say you're gonna work for me, I'm gonna pay you $100 and say I don't want to work for you, and then you hit him upside the head and bring him to your
do you want to live? Do you want to live? Because
well, right.
I just told you
Or
you're
you
working for me, and you said
threaten to
no. So
kill them. That's
do
another
you
thing. You
want to live or?
threaten them with death, jail time, or whatever the case may be. That that's slavery, brother.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
you can't
this
live off
is
of the. I mean, what some of these. I don't know. Like even if it's fucking, they make like $4 a day or some shit. I'm like, what? What?
$4 a day is fucking
Like
crazy.
in our money? So wait, um, that's not slavery because they got something that day. Crazy. I'm glad that it seems like more and more younger people are not as hooked into the news as the older generation, which is a good thing. Um, they're kind of seeing past the bullshit. Now, there is like this percentage that says that not anything against the liberals, but that a lot of young people are into that progressive movement still. But overall, I still think there's a good chunk that are like, you can also find a
I mean,
stat that says that.
if you're smart like at all, like there's no way in hell you cannot have any suspicion that anything is like going on. Like at this point, bro,
I thought
everything
COVID
that
was a
I've had
good,
suspicions about
yeah.
is has been proven. Like they like even in Florida, like Florida is like becoming like this outlawed state. I've started to notice like their
Yeah.
legislature
Yeah.
and they're the people that are running that shit. They're just like we don't give a fuck. We're
They're
gonna
like
do
their
whatever
own
we
little
want.
island down there. Like,
Like it ass like they just released a law and legislature report pretty much saying that they're trying to ban cloud seeding in their state.
I,
And
that's why.
that makes perfect sense because they just got hit with like the worst fucking
Could
hurricane.
we talk about that cloud seeding since you mentioned that? Because
I
that's
mean,
something that you might want to go down, and that we're talking about rabbit holes that you've been going down. That was one that I got hooked on, weather manipulation.
right. And they
And
do that.
I can show you a documentary on that you might find interesting that shows you these planes actually testing our clouds in real time, like what's up in the air.
I mean, there's YouTube videos about it. Like they don't even hide it anymore. They don't
No,
hide. Like you can look up YouTube videos on how they do it,
no,
when they where they
I
do
can
it.
also show you. I have them bookmarked. I used to do
But
this
on
where
top of that,
I would
like
bookmark
just
the. Hang on, let me just finish. Their like when it comes to the news, because they used to say that the weather's not being manipulated. That's a conspiracy theory. And then
right,
no, literally,
those are
I have
crazy.
bookmark websites of news sources saying Bill Gates and a cloud seeding program. Could this be the cure for climate change? And I see dozens of articles about weather manipulation and how we're doing it in other countries. And then at the same time, if you say that they're spraying the skies with something, you're fucking nuts. I'm like, look up in the sky and tell me that that shit just goes away. No, all of a sudden you have overcast, dude.
Right now, there's this fog. There's this
All
fog
I'm
rolling
saying is
across
to tell people look up
half the
in
world right
the
now.
sky and watch these planes some of these days and see what's left behind and then look at your weather a couple
I mean,
hours
if
later.
you've been in a fucking airplane, you should get into that shit. Like I've flown a couple times this year. Like I've seen clouds that didn't look right on
No.
multiple occasions.
Yeah, I mean you can just I don't know, and you're just kind of crazy. I don't need a fucking scientific degree to look up into my sky and say that don't look fucking right. And
Right.
so that's what got me into it. And then also I looked into how poisonous this shit is. It's just terrible for the environment what they're putting into there.
And if you found out it's poisonous, think about all the shit we don't know. Like the
Exactly. That's
CIA is
just what
doing
we've
shit behind
tested.
closed doors. Let's just take a bet and say the CIA has always and will always be doing some shit behind closed doors if there's any type of major operation within the United States. Cloud seeding is, I would say, an international operation,
It is. So you can't.
and the CIA has cohort operations, an entire task force made for that. So
So,
let's just take a gamble and say the CIA is involved in that.
yep.
Let's also take a gamble and say that somebody somewhere is maniacal enough to say, all right, let's see what happens if we do this.
There is.
And
Yeah.
if the CIA says, all right, we're cool with that, as long as it doesn't come back to us, how would we know?
It does. It's so when you affect the weather like that, no matter if we just did it, it doesn't become an isolated thing. When you affect one area of the world, it affects another part of the world. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And so it has to be a united thing. We have a federal gag order for pilots, you name it, all types of people that cannot talk about this. Weather people, the people that tell you the weather, they're not going they will lose their fucking job if they talk about the fact that this is going on.
It's pretty fucked.
So, you know, you can't, the fact that that's a thing, like, because, and it's true, they will literally, if they speak out against the fact that they know that this is happening,
Not only are they going to
see
lose
ya.
their job, but then who knows who's going to come after them after that.
Right.
Like, think about the Boeing whistleblowers. Like, if there was something wrong with the plane, that's people's lives that were in jeopardy. So I
So
mean, shit.
where I stand with it is,
They're willing to kill some guy because they don't want it to come out that they didn't care or they were doing dirty stuff. I mean, shit. If there's an innocent pilot that's just trying to speak out about some shit he saw, who knows what they're gonna tear his life to shreds.
and
And then after they tear his life to shreds, people are just like, "Oh my god, they ruined that guy's life, and nothing's gonna happen. Nobody's gonna do anything
yeah, if
about
we
it
can
because
destroy your
they did."
reputation, you're basically dead. How can we
Right? But
dismantle you in the public's eye? That's all that really
the
matters
CIA
if we don't
literally
kill you.
said the CIA guy literally said that one thing they do is just push people to suicide.
Correct.
That also blew my mind because like that's just nuts. You take somebody's money, you cause them divorce her, you take their car, you
How can
fucking
we
destroy
destroy
their
this
house.
man's life and everything that he identifies with? Give him nothing.
Right. dude, the fact that they just have the power to literally just do that. If you're in a big enough position to expose them in a way that's bad enough, they'll just it's just done. It's over. I don't know. It sounds crazy as fuck. And you're probably thinking like, well, if I wanted to, who knows what they could do, man. So much shit has happened in American history that it's just been obvious, no brain. All right, they just didn't give a fuck about what it would do to people or the civilians that they would be affecting or anything. Experiments, assassinations, bombings, fucking riots, coups, all types of shit that we've kind of orchestrated and been a part of at this point. So anything is fucking possible, bro. And the world is, I'm not gonna say it's getting better, it's becoming a darker place. Like technology is becoming the forefront of everything. There's cameras everywhere. And
Hmm.
who knows what's really happening behind a closed door. Like talk about that fucking airplane that disappeared. Like what even happened there in that video? Fucking UFOs, some robots or something came and just teleported it out of nowhere. Who knows what the fuck is going on at this point? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? People are seeing UFOs and shit. Who fucking knows what's going on, bro?
You know that Tic Tac uh video of that, like a UFO that's in the sky and it kind of shifts vertically and starts kind of floating on an axis, and it's like a great military video that they show of
Oh, and
this
just like it's
over
making
the
maneuvers
ocean,
that are impossible. Yeah,
and it's
I
over the
saw that.
ocean,
It
and
was making like crazy
that's
maneuvers that
that's
were
from
impossible.
2004, and it was released almost 20 years later.
Damn, I didn't realize that.
That's 2000 fucking 4.
That's nuts. So yeah, buddy,
What
yeah.
we have, I believe, like as far as technology, military grade, it's always been like this. They are decades ahead of schedule. The best military stuff is not the type of stuff that the public knows. It just kind of makes
There's
sense.
probably a ton of shit we don't fucking know at this point,
Well,
man.
it started that way. Like, think about computers, man. That shit was for military purpose. That wasn't supposed to be. They managed to obviously take advantage of the marketing aspect of computers, and it's revolutionized things, but that was purely as a ways of communication if other things went down. How could you get a hold of someone? It was for the military, and then it became something that everyone has in their house. Same thing with a telephone. War purposes. And
It just gets darker and darker and darker. And you gotta start to like real fucking stupid. There's enough information out there where if you're a normal citizen like me, I looked up all this stuff in less than a day, right? And I already had my questions and stuff, and I didn't know where to look because there's not really a lot of places you can look to get these answers. As you can see, I mean, a lot of shit is controlled by the people that have the answers that we seek. And if they don't want us to see it, they're not going to give it to us. But you have people that have gone to court to get classified documents released, have stuff unredacted, and then you have people like Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, fucking Tucker Carlson, all these people that have their own outlets to speak about this stuff because you're not gonna silence me if I have my own, whatever. My fans know I'm not gonna kill myself. So if I'm talking about your shit and then all of a sudden fucking my plane crashes, they're gonna know some shit is up.
right.
So use your own fucking brain. Because I mean, really, when stuff starts to change and happen, I feel is the moment of like a lot of Americans and people around the world just start to think. People aren't thinking; they're thinking about the wrong thing. Of course, we're trying to survive and work and get money so we can pay our bills and shit. But like, we're getting taxed out of our fucking ass, right? We can't trust our president. We can't trust our fucking government. People that run our government. Can't trust anything. Like, how many wars have we been in that the American public has been okay? We don't want to do that. Too bad. What, nigga? Are we not in a democracy? Doesn't that mean that we decide what we do and don't do, nigga, together as a team? What do you do?
Right.
It's all fucking retarded at this point, and people are just going along with it. I think they're fucking limit testing. They're being like, dude, like, man, let's think JFK was a limit test. They're like, you know what? What happens if we kill this guy? Right?
Yeah. Can we cover this up?
Right, right. And they did, brother. They pretty much did. I mean, if you look it up, you pretty much get a general idea that the CIA directors that were fired because of Kennedy, because of the dirty shit they were doing in Guantanamo Bay, was reelected, brought back in after to investigate his assassination.
They literally took his body
That
to
doesn't
this
sound that
specific
doesn't sound
hospital,
suspicious.
and like, I
The
don't know.
guy Kennedy, the Kennedy fired this guy because he was leading the task force on Guantanamo Bay, or he was involved in it,
Yeah.
and he didn't want Guantanamo Bay because they were doing torture and shit. So he takes this guy off, and then he gets assassinated. Who knows why? You know? And then they bring this guy back.
Hmm. Fucking crazy stuff, dude. That was the first thing that told me, like, something's wrong here. That was my first conspiracy. And then I think the second one was 9/11. That shit really, like, this just seems off. But hey, before I let you go here, let's talk. You got Air Force stuff. You can talk that. You going into the fucking military.
Yeah, I am. The next month is going to be fucking treacherous.
So that's when you start training, right? Like the official, or are you actually in there?
So right now, I'm training to. Hold on, my dad is texting me saying that like what I would do is my TV is messing with their TV or something. But I'm going for special warfare, so I have to pass this fitness test before I do anything. If I don't, then I'm just going to be an aviation mechanic for now.
Okay, and you're pretty hopeful about doing that fitness test, like you said, just besides the swimming.
Swimming part is the only part that I really kind of focused on right now. Because I mean, the first at first it was the pull ups.
Now you can knock that out of the park after a couple months or whatever.
No, like I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted because this dude like texted me about his TV. So I mean, one part is the swimming because the last time we did a swimming development, I didn't do really good, and I need to go to the pool and perfect my form and breathing and stuff because I've struggled with it kind of recently. But I mean, I haven't practiced a ton, maybe as much as I need to. So
Hmm.
that's the only thing I'm really worried about. I have good cardio, I have pretty good upper body strength. I can do most of the stuff on the IFT. And I've spoken to her, my recruiter. She says if I do good on the IFT or if I don't pass it and still do good, she'll take me out of the depth for that job, and I'll get another opportunity to take the IFT. I might leave a little later, but right now February is my date. But I have an IFT. I think she said the 12th,
Okay.
so I think it's no, I think it's the 7th actually.
What
No, I think it's like, I don't know what fucking day it is.
What have
Since
you
you
been
was sending me the
doing? Like daily or weekly?
um I just do push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. Um I do some of those exercises with my dumbbells because I have three 15-pound dumbbells. So I do have a way to load. these body weight exercises. 'Cause I mean, those are the most important things about any strength training or exercise that you can load whatever exercise you're doing. Like you can't load bands and stuff like that. You can only have a certain amount of resistance. For me, I can get good doing a body weight exercise to a certain percent, and then I can add some more weight to it,
Right.
make it harder, add some more weight to it, make it even harder, and keep going. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Sometimes I go to the gym and do like chest presses and lat pull downs and shit like that, just to isolate certain muscles. But in general, I mean, as of late, I've been going to swim. Like I need to get some fins. I need to get me
Yeah.
a kickboard so I can start perfecting my form and a lot of other stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna say I did really good in the water development. I was definitely struggling in a couple parts just because like it was water confidence training. I wasn't very confident. Like they had us swimming. I think it was a forward crawl or some front crawl or some shit like that. And I was doing that, but I messed up every time I messed up my breathing, it would kind of like mess up my rhythm and everything else. And
Yeah, you can't fucking
I'd be in the
breathe
deep
right.
end. You're in the deep end, so like you try to recover, and I just wasn't able to recover. Like I need to stop for a minute, catch my breath, and then continue to go. So I guess I need to work on my cardio and just work on being more calm in the water. And again, my breathing, like I don't think I was breathing correctly. Like
Mhm.
I did a deep dive on YouTube about the way you're supposed to breathe when you're doing underwaters, when you're doing freestyle, when you're breathing like this, and you're doing this, whatever. You know, at first it was kind of I was getting mixed fucking answers, but now it's pretty ideal. I guess you want to exhale slowly, trickle breath while you're swimming. I haven't gotten an opportunity to really practice that a lot, but I mean, I guess it works in fucking general. There you go to the comments on some of these videos and stuff, and some people are just like, "Oh my god, this changed my life," and then there's some people that are just like, "Yeah, this guy's fucking bugging. There ain't no air pockets for me. There's no this. It doesn't work like that. Whatever." And then you got me that's just kind of like struggling to have a really good endurance swim because I'm just not breathing very efficiently. So
Mhm.
I guess all things come with practice. Just like I've been playing League for a long time. I figured out a fucking way to make that shit work. I'm just
Right.
gonna keep going to the pool and swimming, 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 making myself uncomfortable, making myself comfortable, doing the comfortable stuff over and over again, just finding my groove, I guess. Cause I'm limited time at this point. I don't know if she's gonna extend my depth
I
or not.
yeah. Oh,
So I mean, and at this point, I'd be like, shit. If I go for a normal job, I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I can always ask my liaison to. I was training for special warfare before I came in, but I wasn't able to pass the initial fitness test. I think I'm ready to pass it now, and I would really like to be a special warfare operator. And they'd be like, okay, buddy, hell yeah, let's go fucking do it. And if I pass that shit, I mean, I can change everything. But
so go into what the difference is between obviously there is huge differences, but what would you be doing under special warfare?
so I mean, I'm not in yet, so I'm not the perfect person to talk about this stuff. But I mean, I'm
What
pretty
what do you
educated on
think that you're gonna be
what I've
doing?
seen.
Yeah.
I'm so as a PJ, it's pretty much combat rescue, right? If somebody's bird goes down, somebody gets injured, whether it's a civilian or somebody is enlisted, war zone, battle zone, in a fucking mountain in the ocean, regardless of where they are, if we are the nearest responding unit and we have the best resources possible, then I guess we are the people that would call, and we specialize in, I guess, water rescue, mountain rescue, and airborne rescue as well. If somebody needs to be medevaced very quickly, coming in a helicopter, rappel in, secure the area, make sure they're on the helicopter, and then you pretty much take them to where they need to go.
Also, you're like
And
saving lives
yeah,
type shit.
our motto or their motto, so I guess I'm not
You're
in
not a
there yet.
part of them. No,
Right.
you can't
Their
be.
motto is so that others may live. So
Yeah, not for yourself. Yeah.
there's some pretty notorious stories about 2 days and what they've done. They've saved a lot of people that just didn't think they were going to live, and of course they want the opportunity to thank these guys for saving their lives,
Right.
in their weakest moment. But it's just what they do. It's just their job. and that's what they're trained to do. You have pretty extensive um, medical training, dive training. You even do combat training because sometimes PJs are embedded with other special forces. Just for the experience and what they bring to the table. They're you go through several years of training before you actually even go to your team. So you go to your team, you know, loaded up and booted and ready to go.
You're more
You
than
have everything you
qualified,
need.
more than ready. You've been
Right.
through all the scenarios. And so that's
Right.
what you would be going into next month if all goes well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, not next month. I mean, if we're being honest, if I pass the IFT, I mean, my
Yeah,
date might change,
right. It'll be, they might say, hey,
right,
this
a
is when
little
you're actually
later.
going to go out.
Because I guess they probably want people to go to a couple of those developments because that was my first one. And of course, there are people that were better than me. There are people that have gone there several
Yeah.
times.
But
I was one of the beginner
what,
swimmers. So I mean, like I said, they tied people's arms and shit behind their backs. But some people they did that in the deep end. Some people they did it in the light end. And some people they did the buddy breathing in the deep end. Some people they did it
couldn't
in
you just
the light end.
do, I mean, couldn't you just do that until you passed it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, in my situation, I'm in a delayed enlistment program, and you can only be in the delayed enlistment program for so long. And these recruiters, I mean, whether we like it or not, they're getting paid to recruit people. So, they're trying to get these people in and out as fast as possible. A
Yeah,
recruiter doesn't want to
motherfucker, if
have
you can't do it,
recruits
you're not
for
worth our
for
time.
months and months and months and months and months and
Been
months.
3 years,
They're
man.
they're really like salespeople. Like they have numbers. Like if you're not recruiting enough people in a certain amount of time, or
We haven't met our
you are
quota.
recruiting people,
Yeah.
but they're taking too long to recruit. You need to change something up, and I'm sure that's just how the military is. So she's kind of been pretty adamant. I'm not gonna shit on myself, but I wasn't really ready to
Do what you
go
do.
to the MEPS
Yeah.
and shit. But she kind of was like, well, we had to do this, and I couldn't really make a valid excuse. I did maybe a few times, but
What
eventually I had to go up there and do what I needed to do.
what was
And
MEP's experience like?
it was just like you get sworn in. You just go. It was I don't know. It was just cool. It was just chill. They make you stay at a hotel a day before. They feed you. You get to go to the mall, walk around, do what you want and shit. But they brief you on what you're gonna be doing at MEPS. You pretty much they're signing you up. They're getting all your information and making sure that everything you have is good and valid,
The
right?
MEPS is just
So
like getting you sworn in, or is there something you need to
yeah,
do?
that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
I got there at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. Uh, at 6 o'clock, you have to report down for breakfast or something like that. It's around that time, and we eat, and then they give us a card. They tell us, all right, well, your number, get in line, get on a bus, fucking the lights were out. You're just kind of talking to the guys you met with the night before. Like they had Nintendo 68s and shit. Like we were just playing games, playing bingo and stuff. So you met a couple of other people from other branches, met some other special warfare guys that probably looked skinnier than me. Who fucking knows? Like they look just like me, but they were white guys, whatever. They're pretty cool. But we get there and it's raining and we just have our bags and shit. And we're just sitting out there. I was cold as fuck. We are just sitting out there in the cold, in the rain, and just waiting for, I guess, whatever. And then the guy comes out and he's just like, "You guys like this shit, huh? I ran for 3 hours this morning." Like nobody gives a fuck. But he was
Nobody
just he was
gives
just
a
like
fuck.
he was just talking to us like he was nice, he's a nice guy or whatever. He's like, "I'm glad you guys decided to do this, just briefing us, telling us about this, that, and the third, what you should have, shouldn't have, what's going to happen, having a sound off, getting lines according to where we're going and what we're doing today." Some people are just going to verify information. Some people are going to get sworn in. Some people are just coming to get a physical done or some shit. Whatever the fucking case was, I was coming to depth into the military, so that's where they swear you in. So I was in the middle line, and we were probably standing out there for probably a good 30 or 40 minutes, and that's what I needed to piss so bad. I needed the fucking piss, dude. And I'm gonna tell you why. My name isn't gonna be in this or anything, so I don't give a fuck. I took like some stuff to help me pass my drug test, right? And I drank a lot of water. But I already knew I was gonna pass the drug test. But the thing about it is you're gonna need to piss for hours, bro. and I
Mm.
pissed maybe twice on the bus, once before we left out on breakfast, and I was standing there. I needed to piss so fucking bad, but we needed to put our fucking stuff through the metal detector, put it in the locked room or whatever. As soon as I got the opportunity, can I use the restroom? Went straight to that joint. I was kind of getting nervous because like I was like, I
Mm.
don't know how many times if I'm gonna be good or whatever. Honestly, didn't know. I was kind of like, I was like,
I've
hey,
never done this before.
I knew I was gonna pass, but in the back of my mind, I knew that
Like,
there was a possibility that I couldn't
imagine you
pass.
don't. And it's like, shit.
Like I said, there was I knew I was going to, but in the back of my mind, there was a possibility. So I was kind of nervous, but I mean,
Well, you didn't really know. You were
it's
just kind
I knew because I had taken the same thing
of.
before, and I seen like the
Well, tell
time.
me what did
I
you
knew that I knew
take?
what the time.
What did you take?
I'm not gonna throw it out there just yet.
All right.
But I knew the timeline. I knew what my timeline was gonna be. I knew exactly like the moment it was going to like wear off. I knew like what it would feel like how many times like where I like feel like in the bathroom or not. And I knew like I just knew like if I don't take this drug test by this time, I'm cooked.
Mm.
So we get in there and we get to our room. So first thing the dude said, it was like, you see how many people are here right now? I guarantee you by the end of the day it's gonna be about 5 of you, right?
What a
Because you know,
badass.
people get medically disqualified. Like this guy that had like a pop in the shoulder, like he was double jointed in his shoulder or some shit they had to get a
Perfect.
medical waiver for. It
Perfect.
was just anything. You know what I'm saying? You can't like your left ankle has bad balance or whatever. If anything is wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, dude's
there's a
got
good chance you could
fucking
get
lazy
told
eye, dude. Fucking lazy eye cat.
anything. I'm telling you, anything. But get in that room and they're making it so they brief us. They tell us about the sexual assault and all this other stuff, the rules, this, that, and the third, da 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 da. Da. They make us take a breathalyzer just to make sure nobody's fucking drunk.
Coming in there hammered. Sir, yes, sir.
Dead ass. Like you think it's a joke? They literally do a breathalyzer test. They take your blood pressure, and mind you, this shit is just taking forever. They're calling people up one by one. They have our packets with our information in it, and this, that, and the third. You come up to them, you tell them this, that, and the third, whatever. You say, "Well, sir," "No, man," whatever. And time is just ticking. I got my watch on, and I'm just like, bruh,
Get this
can
watch
we go
off
to?
me.
Can we? No, I'm like, dude, can we take our drug test already? Like, I'm going. So they called me up there, and we're getting ready to go to where do we go next? We did. I think after that briefing room, they started calling us out, right? And I sat in the front. I was in the very first desk. So I'm like, all right, they're gonna call me first. These motherfuckers started calling from the absolute back, the all the way in the back. So I was at like table one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to like 50. So they started at 50. Matter of fact, there was people lined up against the wall, so they started there and then they started going to the back. So I'm the very last person they call. So I'm pretty sure like around 2 o'clock maybe was when maybe around 1 or 2 o'clock was when the shit was gonna wear off. So I think that was like 11 is when they finally start calling at least my group to go to the medical station. So that's when they test your hearing, your eyesight. They take a blood test, they take a drug test, they do a hearing test. They pretty much do everything. Like, dude, like they were talking, like dudes were joking and shit. Like they were gonna just stick a fucking finger up your ass and shit. That didn't happen.
Mm,
They kind of like
sure.
I did have to get naked. I did have to get
But
naked
you
and
did?
like cough.
Yeah. You didn't
And
have
she
to.
kind of like did a exam down there. But other than that, they didn't think no that like it was fine, bro. And
What
on
do you
top
mean
of that,
she
the
did an
guy,
exam down there and you didn't get naked?
you know how when you do a physical, the doctor fondles your balls or whatever to
Oh,
make sure
she
you don't
just
have
wanted to
like
make sure you got the jewels down there.
right. But on top of that, like there's a guy that sits in there. Like there was a guy that was pretty much
The
ordering us
watcher.
around and like commanding us from the very moment we got in there,
The cuck.
like from that the briefing room.
Yeah.
He was like, so when you're doing this, there's always someone in there to kind of make you feel like not nervous or whatever, to make
What?
sure like you don't sneak or just yeah. So he's no there's like guy after guy after guy after guy coming in there, and he's just in there. He's just sitting there. And I'm not gonna say he's
Ugh.
looking at you or whatever. I wasn't paying him no mind. You know what I'm saying?
Who
I was
gets
kind of
off to that, dude?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. But That's just what he does. I guess it's for the doctor's safety and your safety
At
or
least
whatever.
it's a she.
It was a guy.
No, not the watcher. I mean
Oh yeah, the doctor
the
was a girl,
person performing.
but there was a guy doctor. There was a guy doctor.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think I'm not sure. I don't know. The guys and girls were kind of separated. So I mean, I don't
How
know,
many girls
dude.
were there?
There were a good amount of
Really?
girls.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, like 20,
there
30,
was nah. There was probably like 10 or
10?
15. But like, dude, like they did a whole bunch of stuff. Like they got like I think I was in my underwear, like just nothing but my fucking underwear, like doing like a duck walk. I had to like balance on one foot and all the other stuff. They just made sure like they did like general tests. Like if you get on an airplane and your ears explode or something, it's probably because your ears are weak to air pressure. So I mean, they did a test like that to make sure that your ears pop the
Eardrums.
way they're
Your
supposed to be.
eardrums don't fucking burst.
Right. And say you're in a small environment and you need to crawl, like, or you need to walk at a very low stance. If you can't duck walk, or if your like ankle is like
Are you limited in
now
mobility?
exactly. So that there was a couple people that got disqualified for that. So after they do that, after I take my drug test, I'm in there, I'm pissing, and it's like a my shit was completely clear. So I mean, I didn't know if they was gonna make it piss again or what, because they was calling people to redo certain tests. Right? You there?
I'm here listening.
Oh yeah. So they're fucking. There was a couple people that got recalled back to do redo tests and this, that, and third. So my time frame was at the end. I'm like, yeah, let's just pray to God. Just pray that it's like I'm just gonna make it. And I did. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I passed the drug test because they would call me back at some point. Like, you failed the drug test. They're not gonna send you a processing to finish your the rest of your shit.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
pretty sure.
pretty sure? I think if you failed, you would be done. The whole
Yeah.
point of it.
So
I
yeah.
think you
I mean, they
cleared it.
tell they tell. I'm pretty sure they tell you like if you fail, you're permanently disqualified from the
Yeah, I would imagine.
yeah. It's like you're supposed to tell your recruiter, I'm like, if you weren't ready to pass the drug test, you tell them, even though they might get mad at you, whatever, but they're not gonna send you up the maps if you can't pass the drug test because like
It's
that would be
pointless.
pretty dumb. That'd be pretty dumb. And it would probably look bad on their part. Like,
Oh, we sent this guy up the maps knowing that he possibly can't even pass this.
right. It looks bad. Yeah. She even told me like if like cause I asked her, I was like asked her about like medical marijuana waivers and stuff. She's like, no, we don't do that here.
Wow. Come on. A little 420, please.
We don't do that here. If you can't pass the drug test, you're fucking out.
But it's not a drug. It's
Yeah,
legal.
we don't know about none of that. So after that, I go to processing. I get my fingerprints done and all this shit, and then I basically go to the same room that we started out in the morning. And just like the guy said, there was only about 5 of us, and there had to have been at least like 40, maybe like 50 people when we first started.
Right.
Some people were just coming to get physicals done. So I mean, who
So
knows?
that
I
guy at the
can't.
beginning wasn't wrong. Like, there's
He
only going
wasn't
to be
lying.
5 of you.
There was even a couple people that were like going to basic that day. Like the guy that was my roommate, and I like met his family. They took us out to eat or whatever, and we pretty much slept in the same fucking room. And we were watching the football game together. And we were fucking talking to people downstairs and shit. It was pretty cool, but he was going to basic. So I mean, while we were in there waiting to like, we are getting briefed before we went into this morning because there's a video on YouTube on Facebook, like on the Baltimore Mets page where you can see me pretty much get sworn in with everyone else.
Yeah.
They were just telling us what we were gonna do, why we're doing it, this, that, and the third. Like from this point forward, you're pretty much saying that you're not gonna do this, that, and the third, da 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 da, do, or else you could be prosecuted, this,
You're
that, and
ours
third, kicked
now.
out of the military, whatever. Yeah, basically. So we did that, and they were like clapping in the hallway and shit. I guess they were putting the people in the vans to take them to the airport to start basic training. I think he texted me like a couple weeks ago saying they finished.
Huh?
So
Right on,
Yeah,
man. So, like, if you weren't doing, was it special forces, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Um, what would you be? What was the other option looking like?
I
You
think it
don't
would
get
be
that.
aviation technician. So
So yeah, explain that.
or a air, or an aircraft avionics technician. It was
Yeah,
one of those.
big words, dude.
So avionics technician is basically the person that's working on the I guess like some of the HUD
The hood. You work on the hood.
navigation system. Like I don't know
There
what
you
the
go.
specifics of it are, but you're working on all the stuff that pretty much makes the aircraft work for both of those jobs. Like, I mean, aircraft maintenance technician or whatever, avian whatever. I mean, you're working on an aircraft. I think the avionics is more so the internals, like say a fuel gauge isn't working or some shit. Pretty sure all that stuff is like replaceable. Like, I even talked to a guy the other night that I just met fucking randomly. He was in the Air Force. He was an aircraft technician, and he was telling me about how one of the pilots are always like dumbasses because fucking he had the fuel gauge replaced in his F-16 like twice and had him pull him out of the aircraft and do all this other shit, and he just hadn't turned it on. So
Well, so I'm wondering, like, they take you and all this training you've been doing is a lot of it physical, and then you end up getting placed into this, and it's like, what are the qualifications for that? So is it just like, if you pass these fucking certain parameters, then we can teach you how to fucking do this shit? Because, I mean, how do they know that? Is it just something
um,
anyone can do with the proper training?
yeah, I think it's something that anybody can do with the proper training because I mean there are tests you have to pass, right? They don't just train you to do the stuff that send you out there. You have to they train you to do it and you have to take tests to pass to actually make it through.
Okay, so you'll have more tests even if you go down that route. It's not like they're just giving you the job and saying, "Hey, this is how you fucking
Yeah,
run."
after you go to basic training is basically where they teach you how to be a soldier, right? You learn the airman's creed. You learn what ranks are, what ranks look like, how to address someone's rank. You know what I'm saying? Because if the commander in chief walks in the room and you don't stand at attention or anything like that, you're crucified. You know what I'm saying? Like the general
Yeah,
stuff that you should know as a part of the U.S. military as a soldier or airman. And they also you have to pass fitness tests at the end of basic training along with other tests. So all the stuff they taught you, you have to pass tests on that, and you have to pass physical fitness tests. If you came to basic training and you had never passed a fucking fitness test in your life, you've been sitting on your ass. Of course, you have some work to do. But for me, I've been training for special warfare, so I mean, some of those physical fitness tests may not be as
so regardless, you're gonna have
and
to take
and
a physical test. But this one, you're like,
yeah,
this ain't shit compared to what I was trying to be special warfare.
not even that. I mean, like I said, maybe a little bit easier, but I still expect it to be somewhat of a challenge. Their whole thing is like they're not doing this to disqualify you, right? They're not doing these tests to disqualify you either, right? These tests are where you need to be at to move forward, and everything that we've been doing up to this point is so that you can pass these tests, right? We're not trying to disqualify anybody. Everything we're doing is for you, right?
Yeah, we want
Um,
you to fucking.
Right. All
we
the
want
special
we
warfare
want
shit
you
I've been
here.
going through and doing is free. Right. I said I wanted to do this. So they said, all right, well, this is what you need to do. And these are who you need to talk to. And this is what you need to do if you want to do that. And I've been going and I've been doing it and I've improved my numbers a lot. Like nowadays, I could probably hop on the pull up bar and do about 5, 6 solid good pull ups. Whereas before I can only do like 2. And
Right.
now I understand how to do pull-ups. I understand why they were so hard. I understand why the push-ups were killing me. I understand certain muscle groups. Like all that stuff kind of sprawled into my own information that I kind of use to create workouts and stuff.
I
Right.
always said the best way to increase the amount of pull-ups you do is to do more pull-ups.
Right. That's literally it.
Even if you
And
can't do one,
these
the
whole
more
right.
times you do that, you can eventually. There's easier ways to do it. Assisted pull-ups, obviously, that sort
I
of
mean, I
thing.
do those as well. Right. One thing I've been doing as of recently is like I got my form down and I can do a set of push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups. So right now I'm increasing the load. What I've been doing is basically somebody knock on my door. I've been taking weights and pretty much just adding them to the regimen, like doing diamond push-ups, diamond pike push-ups, doing fucking plank push-ups and shit, just doing all types of shit just with some extra weight,
Yeah.
just to add some resistance. That shit makes the hugest difference. Like, I'm working on getting a weighted vest just so I can
Right.
just go out and run. You know what I'm saying? Run until I can't run anymore,
Yeah.
and then stop, and then wait a
You
couple
put
days,
that weighted
do it
vest
again.
on and with some, and you don't even have to like do anything with the dumbbells. You can, but you can just put those dumbbells on the ground, and then you're further from the ground, so you get a deeper stretch, and it's more
And,
time under tension, and it's
and I'm
harder.
telling you, everything that I'm going to be doing in the special forces, you're going to be doing rucking, you're going to be doing mountaineering, you're going to be doing
Yeah.
diving, combat rescue. There's just the pipeline for special warfare. The training is several years long. So I mean, I know I'm taking on like a feat, but I I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be fully honest with you. And this could be to my detriment or whatever. I've kind of been on the fence the last week or two because I've just haven't been able to get myself good in the water. And that's a very important point of all the training. If you can't pass the pre-dive selection, then you're not going to make it through anything else. Because the
Hmm.
pre-dive selection is one of the most important parts. When they dump you in the fucking ocean, there's no walls you can climb
Yeah.
to. There's no boat you can just say, "All right, I'm
That's
tired.
when
I want to
shit
get out
gets
of the water."
real. It's
You
like if
have
you
to. You
can't
have
handle it
to.
when it's fake, dude, you can't.
Right, and when you're doing diving and they start unplugging stuff and they start trying to twirl you around and get you to drown and stuff like that. I mean, my mentality is, and even when I was doing the dive development, the reason I made it through it, I didn't quit, is because I knew like even if I do pass out or some dumbass shits happen, there's 5, 6 lifeguards on duty. I'm not gonna die, and I'm not nothing bad is gonna happen. I might pass out and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
fuck,
that's why I was like,
you
it's
know.
fake,
But
but it's not
after I pass
fake. But
out, there's a good possibility they're gonna ask me if
mm,
I want to continue. Even though I'm probably gonna be like, "Well, you passed out, you can't continue." But fuck it, I don't care. I mean, if I can't continue, I'm gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? My thing is right now, I'm not gonna die. I was shivering in that pool. Nigga, I was fucking freezing. It was causing me to have trouble everywhere else. Just because I was freezing. It's probably because I didn't eat enough iron in the past couple of days. Hadn't been eating enough protein.
because it's
I hadn't eaten
cold,
enough.
motherfucker.
No, no, I hadn't eaten enough. I know exactly what it is. I mean, I know my body at least. I have a really fast metabolism. So I mean, if I don't eat good leading up to it and on that day, then my body is gonna be calorie deprived. So I mean, I'm gonna be out of breath. I'm gonna be out of energy. And I'm gonna be fucking cold. So that's what was happening. I was My muscles were burning. I was cramping. I was running out of breath really easily. If you're calorie deprived, your
Yeah,
muscles don't have
if
enough
you aren't
oxygen. You have to
hydrated
burn them.
and eating well, you can't perform at your top.
Yeah, my mouth was dry. You know what I'm saying? I had to keep like
You had that cotton
it was
mouth, man.
dude. It was a learning experience. I'm glad I did it because like now I know like if I'm going to do that shit again, I need to prepare myself. I need to get some fucking salmon from the store or something and make some seafood or something. Make stuff that's actually gonna be good for
Right?
me rather
Because
than just fucking
sometimes
eating McDonald's.
you just gotta
I think
do
before that shit,
something,
I had like 4 McDonald's hash browns. I shit you not, I threw that shit up
Ooh,
in the middle of the ground exercise.
I wouldn't
Like, I think we
recommend
were
McDonald's before doing all.
listen, I just I didn't think it through. I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have we didn't there was no milk. I was gonna be eating dry Cheerios or some shit. It was just I don't even have I didn't invest in nutrients for my training regimen when I got paid last time. So I mean, that's something I'm gonna be doing this time. But this is all stuff you're gonna need to do. If you're going for a regular job, they train you and bulk you up so that you can pass the physical fitness test. For a special warfare, they're expecting you to already have passed a physical fitness test before you come to basic training, which then they train you even more, and then you get to assessment and selection if you
Yeah.
make it to the assessment and
Well, that
selection.
makes
And
sense.
that's when they really start beating the shit out of you. And then they have the indoctrination course, which comes after assessment and selection. And that's kind of, just more and more training, more ass beating. You know what I'm saying? But the whole idea, like I said before, I'm not going to die. There's no amount of cold that you can put me in that's going to kill me. There's no,
Right.
there's nothing I can do out there that's going to like literally kill me.
But that's
You
not
know what I'm saying?
realistic scenario, you know?
I mean, it's that's the idea though. They don't want you to quit. If you quit, you're out. You can make it through all this just like everybody else, but if you quit mentally, you're gonna quit physically, and you're out. It's just what's gonna happen. Like I said, my mentality, even though it's gonna suck, even just like doing the water shit was sucking. Like towards the end, I was cramping so fucking bad. And they had us doing flutter kicks at the edge of the pool over the water. They kept spraying water in my face, telling me to get my feet out of the water. I was done. But it was one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm not gonna get up and walk away. I have to continue going. You know, my legs, they're not gonna fall off. You know it hurts and I can't do them anymore. I'm gonna keep continuing because I mean, this is nothing compared to what we're actually gonna be doing when we get to assessment and selection. They're gonna be if we think this is an ass beating now, they're gonna be fisting us when we get to the fucking assessment and selection. This is absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
So, like, even there was a guy that is in the pipeline right now that was there, and he was like, "Yeah, this is a daily smoke session. You know, this is nothing." And we did 4 circuits of 30. Yeah, it was 30 squats with I think 15 pound on our back. Then you had to do 50 flutter kicks. Then you have to go and do 20 pull ups, and then you had to go do a mile and a half. A mile. I'm pretty sure that was probably about that's not a mile and a half one lap around the track with weight on your shoulder, back, whatever, just carrying weight. And you know, it may sound fucking easy, but after you get to like that second circuit and you're getting ready to start your third, your legs are burning. You've already done 100 flutter kicks. You've already done 60 fucking weighted squats. You've already ran. You've already done 40 pull ups at this point. Your body is getting tired. And now we need to help each other to do the push ups. Now we're cutting these sets into spots. You know, you got guys throwing up, needing water. You know, one of the bigger guys, he was kind of sagging behind and shit. Like, it it's it's just one of those things where I was like, "Okay, I'm glad I got to experience this because now I know, like, it's really no joke. I need to become a
It's
little more
really
serious."
real. It's
You know what I'm
real
saying?
now. Yeah, because
Like, dead ass, because dude's at the end of the pool, like, "Alright, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do front crawl, 5 laps, and then you're gonna switch to breaststroke, 5 laps, and then you're gonna do combat side stroke, 5 laps." Dude, I did 2 laps, and I was hanging on the wall fucking gasping for breath. So, it's just
hmm
one of those things where it's like, "Alright, well, if I that just helped made me realize, like, alright, if I can't get my swimming together, then this is just not gonna be possible." You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, I can go in there and say, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You know, I trained my hardest for this. If I drown, I drown. If I pass out, I pass out." But who wants to have that mentality? You wanna be one of those people that's like, "I've trained hard for this, dude. I'm gonna do my best to make it through it." That's where I'm trying to get myself to right now, but swimming is no joke, bro. Like,
Hell
there are
no.
probably some athletes out there that can't swim 500 meters consistently without breaks,
That
and we're
shit's
gonna be
difficult,
swimming
man.
well beyond 500 meters with gear on, with gear, and they're also gonna be limit testing you. They're gonna be like fucking. Like I told you, like during the buddy breathing, this dude almost was dying, bruh, because like he was fucking with us. He was covering the snorkel, so when it was your turn to get a breath, you didn't get an opportunity to breathe. He was taking my goggles off. So the way you hold the snorkel, you hold it in a very kind of awkward way, but it's so that you can feel the force of your partner pulling it and pushing it toward you, whatever. And it's always in a good position for them to take a breath. You can take a breath. He was pulling it, taking our goggles off and shit, flipping us upside down and all types of fucking. It sucked, but like I kind of locked in right there because it's like, dude, I'm not. It's like it's. No, I don't care what he does. Just make sure I breathe, you breathe. I breathe, you breathe. Okay, pause. I read, you read. This dude was fucking losing his mind.
Yeah,
This guy was losing his mind.
you have to take
And
out all of that other. Um, you can't be thinking about anything else in that point, or else you're going to fail. Your
yeah,
main
and it was real
concern is
technical.
breathing.
Like once you get the snorkel, the water has filled the snorkel. So you have to blow in, will blow out, and then breathe it. And the guy was kind enough the one of the instructors was kind enough to tell me, it was like, all right, you have to like do every time, blow it out really fast, get that breath in, and then pass it. They do the same thing and pass it. That's how you're gonna be efficient. They had guys telling us how the correct way to do stuff. So they weren't just like limit testing us. This was development. This is to get you ready for what they're actually going to be doing. So I mean, it was hard, but it was deservedly
The
hard.
whole point was for it to be hard. If it was
Yeah, that shit was ass.
like,
That's,
how can you handle it when things are the opposite of pleasant? The whole
I think
idea of
I
it was to make you uncomfortable.
right because I mean there are going to be people that are like freaking out. There are going to be people that just give up, back out, whatever, go into whatever, and
Did that
then there are going to be
happen?
people that lock in.
Was there anyone that said fuck this?
No, but there was one guy that was like cramping when we were doing the water treading drills. They make you tread water without your hands. They make you put your hands above water and just tread. And that's something I hadn't practiced. So I was kind of struggling. But every time you go to the wall, they spray water in your face till you get off the fucking wall. I just kept going back to the wall.
Sprinkle water on
It's
your
just,
face.
I was just taking it, bro, because I couldn't. Like my legs were so done.
Fucking
My legs were
waterboard
done.
you. Like, get back.
I mean, like I said, I'm glad I went. Because now I know where my weaknesses were, right? Because like the pull-ups, I weren't struggling that bad. Everybody after about 40 pull-ups, we were pretty cooked. It wasn't who the fuck is going out there and doing 80 push-ups. I mean pull-ups, just off the rip. Nobody was doing it. Even when I'd say the strongest looking guy on our team, I mean, he started needing assistance at one point,
Of
and
course.
just grab someone's ankle and kind of push him up or whatever. And
You need like some specimen that's like weighs 120 pounds and just is incredible at body weight.
dude, the circuit run was kind of difficult too because like sometimes it'd be like hard to carry the little sandbag. Like you carrying the sandbag on your right shoulder, and then your arm starts to burn up, and then you put it to your left shoulder, and then your left arm starts to burn up, and then you're just switching it back and forth the entire
It's
fucking
like
run.
everything's
Or
burning, dude.
God forbid you got the ball. I got the ball on the last fucking thing. Try running with a 15-pound fucking ball the size of a goddamn baby. It's just like impossible.
Yeah.
Shit is just like, and by like, how are you? How, it just, yeah, it just wasn't working out. But like I said, I'm glad I got to go because I mean, after that, I started going to the gym and started fucking that shit up,
It was
and
like,
even getting
holy
in the
shit,
water.
I need to do something. I need to go in this water more.
I mean, dead ass. I mean, listen. I mean, I'm okay with going for something normal. That's absolutely fine with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have physical limitations, just like everybody else. But I'm training to extend those limitations.
You want to
But
try.
if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But I'm gonna try like hell. Like my dad says, no, I don't think this is for you, bro. I don't give a fuck what you think, man.
We'll find out.
There's a lot of people that you know what I'm saying. Just they see it and they're like, you know what? That's not my thing. I know there's a possibility that I can do this. Like even with my fitness right now, like he's telling, like I don't know, I don't talk to him about this stuff because he's kind of out of touch with reality. You know, he tells me, you know, I'll go to basic and I'll just be fine, dude. You'll be better than everybody else. Like, yeah, I know I'll be better than the guys that's been sitting on their fucking couch beating their meat their entire life. But dude, I'm not trying to just be okay. I'm
Average,
trying to be
yeah.
ready. You know what I'm saying? Physically. And
You want
physically
to
is the
test
hardest part.
yourself.
Once people's bodies start burning when they're running, that affects your mental, right? So when I'm running, when I'm doing my mile and a half run, I already know the first thing that's gonna start burning is my calves. And when I'm running, I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty comfortable with my legs starting to burn. Your legs
Hmm.
aren't gonna collapse below. Your legs are your strongest muscles. They're gonna start burning, but if you just ignore it and keep running, it'll stop burning. But they don't start burning again. But you know, just that's just how
I
running
I
works.
fucking loved and hated running. I don't do it now, but I did track and cross country, and
Mhm.
I used to run 5Ks. I hated it, but it was one of the most, powerful things for me to get over that. Like, no matter how shit I could be feeling, body wise, mind wise, wanting to quit, and knowing that you just needed to push further and forcing yourself to get through that.
Right.
It
It's
was
like
a very rewarding thing.
once you start, it's just like if you just quit, then all the work you put in to get to that starting point, all the work you put in to get to the point where you are now, is for nothing. You just threw it all away if you quit.
I
And if
mean,
you're okay with that, that's fine. But some people, it's just like I put in too much work to quit. You know what I'm saying? Some people have sacrificed a lot to get here, and that's another thing that I'm thinking about. Like, there are going to be people that probably want to make it through selection more than me. You know, what I'm saying there
Of
are people that are going
course,
to the gym
you got to
twice
assume
a day.
that.
There are going to be guys that have been training for this for years. There are going to be guys that's been they're lifeguards and all types of other shit. So I mean, I'm I'm ready at this point. I mean, I still need to study. I've been doing a very shit job of studying like what I'm going to need to know in basic, but I'm not retarded. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to basic not knowing a damn thing about anything, and they're doing just fine. They made it through. So I mean, I'm going to study, but
Hmm.
I'm not prioritizing. I don't know. There's a lot of it's New Year's. There's a lot of stuff I
Let's
need to.
enjoy New Year's. Fuck this.
There's a
Trying
lot
to
of stuff
save
I
the
need to.
world and shit.
Nah,
You can
I definitely
set that
need.
aside for today.
I definitely need to lock in. It's locking time, like right now.
Yeah, dude. If you were serious about this right now, I would want you to be drowning underwater practicing. Like
That's the thing, though.
why aren't
Like they
you?
were trying to drown us, bro.
Why don't you put weights to your ankles and then see how long it takes for someone to rescue you? That way, it's out of your hands. You don't feel safe. Make sure there's someone around. Okay.
Dude, that sounds crazy.
No,
You
but you
said
do,
just tie weights to your
tie
ankles
tie
and see
weights to
how
your
long.
ankles. Going to the deep end of the
I'm
pool.
trying
Make
to
sure
commit
there's someone
suicide.
around.
Sounds
And
like I'm trying to commit suicide,
no,
dude.
no, 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 no. It would be
He's
just
like, I
tell them
wonder
it.
how long it would take for someone
Well,
to come
well,
rescue me
right.
if I
You
just.
said you felt safe when you had all these other guys to make sure that you wouldn't drown. Let's just go into a public place, real setting. He sees you bring in like a couple of 45-pound, plates,
That's
and
crazy as fuck.
you got this
Who's gonna
chain
get those out?
wrapped
Nobody's
around.
getting those 45-pound plates out of the
Well, they'll
water.
get the belt off you, dude. Like, it'll be like a weight belt that you would do
I
dips
think
with.
it'll be too late by then, bro.
Well, we'll
And
see.
on
And
top of
then
that,
if you have
these
enough.
lifeguards, they don't have on no goggles or
All
nothing. They're
right, all
gonna
right,
have to
all right.
go in
How
there and
about this?
take
I'll
it
give
off.
you option B. You
Nah,
can
nah.
you can get the belt off you. Like if you feel like shit, dude,
Listen, if
really
I
no one's
ever do
gonna save
anything
me.
under the water at the pool, I always tell them. I always tell the lifeguard, "Hey, I'm doing
Well, you could tell them
underwater."
that. Like, hey man, after about a minute 45, I kind of
Plus,
think we
you
should
could do
do
that
something.
at the surface. You could do that at the surface, like treading water.
No, I want you
I know all.
underwater.
Man, it's fine. Drown. Who's stopping you, man?
I'm trying to make you an elite soldier and feeling all comfortable and shit.
I'm
Like, oh,
trying
I
to make
can't die. Like,
you an
dude, let's
elite
let's make it to
soldier.
where maybe you could die, and then we'll see if you're ready. I bet you do that, you pass that fucking
I
test with
bet you if
flying
if I
colors.
I bet you if I killed you right now, and you don't live. You didn't want to live.
Right. Well, no, 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 no. Here's the thing, though. You do that test after doing what I just told you a couple times. You would be
Right.
like, this test is for pussies.
John Rambo, right?
Would I be wrong? Like if you did that, couple of 45s attached below the waist, deep end of the pool.
Right.
You let the guy know, like, hey, I'm not killing myself, dude. I just need to be ready. You put your
So,
goggles on. He sees you strap on the fucking 45-pound plates with the chain, and you go into about 20 feet. You could also let him know, like, hey, my record is a minute 30, so I'm trying to beat it, but watch out for me, dude.
there are better ways to perform this, man.
I don't think so. I think people just don't want to take risks, and you need to take risks. I guarantee you, if a guy did that, not only is he crazy enough to make it into special forces, um, he's gonna know how to handle water. If you're willing to kill yourself a couple times like that, shit, you ain't afraid of water, dude.
I mean, even the guy that was in the selection program, he said that there were a couple times that he popped or blacked out. It's just
Right.
gonna happen. They try to make you black out so that you know what it feels like, what your limits are like,
And what's that? That's
and
not any different than what I
what.
was saying. It was it. It was perfect. Uh,
Hold on, let me go make this
yeah,
green
I'm gonna
bar. I'm
end
back.
it there, man. It was good talking about this shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting process. I mean, I'm gonna be reporting back the entire time. I mean, if I don't make it, I'm gonna let you guys know. And if I'm still grinding it out, I'm gonna have stories for you guys. But right now, I ain't doing shit. I'm still
Well, yeah, I wanted
still
the pre-experience. Then next time it'll be experiences. So good luck to you on that, and then you go make your food, man. Good talking about this.
absolutely. I will be back.